Hello guys, welcome back to our channel. I'm Vishesh from Gandhi Nehru. In today's video, we'll showcase our top 13 easy to use design tips and tricks of Elementor for 2023. As you can see on my screen, we have a beautiful header with some hotspots on the header. We'll see how to create these cool design inside Elementor. This design is referenced from a website called Wanda. So if you see Wanda's website, they have a similar hero section and also have a video in the background. We'll also see how to add the video in the background. We'll also see how you can create some cool parallax effect sections inside Element. So you can have these sections for your services, for your gallery section or whatever you want. So you can customize this as you will. I'll also show you some very small tricks where something like how you can add a different font or color inside one single heading widget. So I'll also show you this, how you can do this. And we'll see some CSS effect on how to add a button hover effect. So this CSS effect, if you have Elementor Pro, then you can directly code the CSS inside Elementor Pro. And if you don't have an Elementor Pro, but still we'll see how we can add this cool CSS effect. We'll also see how to create something like this, where you have your own text and that is rotating. You can add this as a badge or something where inside an image or placed absolute somewhere in your website. So we'll see this. We'll also see how you can create a gradient text which is animating, where if you see this is animating the color. So the gradient is coming from blue, some like bluish, and then greenish, and then orange. So we'll see these on. So get ready to take your design skills to next level with our top 13 easy to use design tips and tricks for 2023. Let's dive in. So let's start with small. Our first tip or the trick is how we can add this, like how we can add a different color or different font inside a singular heading. So usually let's get inside our Elementor editor. And let me drag a heading widget right below this. Let me just click on this to copy the styles, and you can see we have the text. Let me remove it. Now, as we can see, we have add your heading as, or let me just change this to one gift. Now, as you can see on the above, we have gift in a different font, also in a different color. So let us see how you can do that. Okay. So inside your panel, right hand panel, let us change the wonderful word. Let's change the color of this wonderful. To change it, let's add a span tag and wrap the word around the span tag. So span tag is an HTML tag which is inline to its container. Which is inline to its parent container. So let us add a class. I'm adding class because this will become easier to manage the style. That's why I'm adding class. We can also add a style tag directly, inline style tag directly inside this. Let's add a class color change. I'm having Elementor Pro. If you don't, I recommend you to click the link below and get Elementor Pro. So this will have some dynamic features around. Let me delete this one and add the class which we have. So I gave a class name of color change. Now let us first, as the class name suggests, let us first change the color. So I'll say CSS property color and let's make it red. See, boom. You got the red color. Let's make it yellow. Now it is in yellow. Now, if you want, You can also use the same thing directly inside this and add a style tag. Style equal to quotations, and I'll say style. And inside the sorry, not style. Yeah, style equal to quotation. And inside this, I'll say font size. Let us increase the font size to 150 pixels. So see, only the wonderful word is changing based on our CSS style. So this is how you can customize. You can also add custom fonts. So let's go back into this. I'll delete the font size because it's looking really ugly. Let's remove this and let's go back to our CSS, custom CSS area and add, we'll add a font family. And let's see what font family I'm using in this one. So the font family is this. I'll just grab this font family, go over to our second text, go to custom CSS and add this font family. See? Now the wonderful word is now changed to the custom font and A and gift is custom. So this is how you change or you customize words inside your type. Now let us see our second trick inside the same page where we have the button. So we have a button hover effect. This is also a CSS effect. So let us drag and drop. I'll just delete this one. And this time I'll show you if you don't have a Elementor Pro version. So let us do this trick without using any Pro widget. So first let us take a button element. This is not included in Pro. Let's add learn mode and give a bit of styling. Let's just make it a bit dark green, somewhere around here. And that's all. Now inside the advanced tab, let us give a class name. We'll give a class of hover effect. Yeah, let's give hover. So now this button have a class name called hover effect. Now if you are not using Elementor Pro, then you will not be able to have this custom CSS open if you're using a free version. To get around that, what we can do is come type HTML widget and let's drag this HTML widget right below the button. Or you can just take this HTML widget and let drop anywhere inside your page. So let us add here, and now in here, let's add the style tag. We have the style tag in here, and inside the style tag, we want to grab a class name of hover effect. Now let us grab that class name called hover effect and add our custom CSS when we hover over this button. So to get the correct element which you want to hover, go to your page. Let's click on this button and click inspect. Now in the inspect, I'll just bring my inspect tab here. Let's move it to the bottom. Yep. Now inside our inspect element, you can see we don't have a button. We have an A tag which is wrapping and creating this button. So this is not a button, but this is an A tag. And if you see the A tag, the custom CSS which we have kept, the custom name, not the CSS, sorry, the custom CSS class name, hover effect is not applied to the to the A element. It is applied to its parent element, which is right above somewhere, here. So in this element, which is the parent element, now we can see that it is getting that hover effect class name. So we don't want to add that hover effect to the element, rather we want to add that hover effect to the A element of this particular button. So to do that, let's go to our HTML tag where we have our style tag and take the A element inside the hover element and add the effect. Now I'm not adding an hover effect. Let's just change the color of the button to, let's suppose, red. See, as soon as I typed red, now the button color got red. Okay. Yeah, the by default hover effect which we have on the button, which you can click over here, go to styling and click the hover effect to add the hover effect. You can have that, but we are having, we want to add this hover effect where we have when we click on the button, it is like looking like something is moving out from the behind of that button. So we are trying to achieve that effect. So let me remove this and let me first click on this one and get the code. So I'll just take all of the code, go to custom HTML and paste the code. Now let us change the selector to hover effect. You can get this code, you can pause the video and get the code. I'll also be dropping the code in the description so you can have a look. Now, the hover effect class with an A tag inside the hover effect, we have an A tag which now have a background color of this. We also have a font color of this and a transition. So transition mean like on hover, how slow it should come. So we are giving a 0.3 second. So it looks very smooth. Then again, we'll copy the hover effect, our class name, we'll add it here, and on A over hover, when we hover over this A, then what it should do, it should create a box shadow which is 5 pixel of left and right. So this is 5 pixel from the left and right, and the color of that shadow I want to be a pitch green color. And again the transition is 0.3 seconds. So when I hover over the button, you can see the transition is working. So this is a really small and easy way to add a cool effects. And you can go to the Google and type CSS button effects and you will get bunch of styling, and you can directly copy paste the style inside your Elementor button. But make sure that you have a custom class name and you have selected a element of that button, because Elementor works with a element. So this is how you add without adding it to your, if you don't have an Elementor flow and you want to add the effect. So this is how you add it. Now let us see how you can make this effect. This is also a similar CSS effect, but I think this needs you to get Elementor Pro. So we'll type text. We have the text path. So this text path is an pro element of Elementor. So for this effect, you need Elementor. Let me drag this and drop below this heading. Now you can see we have it curved, and we'll say the path type to be circle. Now it is circle. Now let's go and first click on show path. So this is the circle is the path that is shown. And let's go to the styling and change a bit of styling. So we can change the font. I'll just copy the styling from here so it won't waste time. And yeah, because I'm using the effect, I'll just firstly do this. So without CSS effect, it will look like this, and you have no option here to make this animate or make this rotate. To make this rotate, we'll have a small, very small CSS snippet, which is an animation effect, which is, we say selector. Selector is the whole parent element. Selector is used inside Elementor, and if you're not, if you don't have a Elementor Pro, then similar as I said, you can have a custom name, and instead of selector, you will have that custom CSS name. Sorry, it's a custom class name. So instead of select, we'll have selector. Let's make this now. Yeah. And yeah, inside selector, we have an animation tag. Sorry, animation element. This is not even element, animation style. Yeah. And we say rotate, and I want to rotate it for 20 seconds, and I want to make it infinite, like the loop is infinite, and it should be linear. It should not like make any of the other, like it will be linear throughout the animation. And we have a keyframe which has the same name, rotate. And from 0 to 100, what we are doing is basically taking the transform property and making it rotate from 0 degree to 360 degree. So we're moving from 0% when it starts, which is 0%, and when it is 100%, it is 360 degree. So basically it is getting rotated. So this is how you create a rotating effect. Not to this, but if you want to create a rotating effect to any of the element, let's have a icon. Let me grab an icon. Let me drop that icon right below this. And if you want to have that animation or the rotating effect, then you can have the same code and see how this is rotating. Now now you can see that the box, like the parent container, is moving. So to fix that, let's just make the width inline, and you will see only the star is rotating now. See? So with this snippet of code, you can basically rotate any element inside your Elementor tag. Make sure to go inside your dev tools and check which element you want, which tag it is, or what is the class. So with that, all the small and basic animation tips and tricks are done. We also have one more tip, or let's suppose a CSS trick with this coming soon page, which has a gradient effect behind it, and that gradient effect is animate. To see, now let us see how we did this. I'll open my editor, and inside editor you can see I just have a header element which says coming soon. I'll just change to hello all, and you can see that hello all have that. Now in the styling, you can see just it is a basic styling typography, and the color is transparent. But if you don't want to keep it transparent, like transparent is not mandatory, but just to make sure the color behind this is visible, I made it transparent, but that is not mandatory to have. Now let us go inside the CSS panel, custom CSS, and see how this effect is done. So we have selected this element, and inside that element we have selected the h2 tag. So the h2 tag is the tag element which contains this hello all text. Now first let us start with the background image. If you just have background, this won't work. This effect won't work if you have CSS background linear gradient and you will have your gradient. This will only work with linear gradient image. So make sure to have background image, linear gradient, and you can generate linear gradient from, like, there are a bunch of tools, just linear gradient generator. Yeah, you can search linear gradient generator. You will have a bunch of tools which allows you to create linear gradients, and you can just like drag and drop, select the color, and like create your own linear gradient. And from here you can copy the linear gradient. Now let's go back to our code. So firstly, I had a background image with a linear gradient. Then I called a WebKit. So WebKit background clip. So without WebKit, this background clip version will work, but not on all sites. So see, on Chrome also it is not working. So WebKit helps you create or the properties which are not supportable to the current version. This will allows to for all the browser to have the property working. So background clip, and we have selected the background clip to text. If you copy the background clip and go to Google and search for background clip CSS, here you will find the documentation. We go here. Here you can see we have the documentation for the background clip properties. So we have border box, we have padding box, we have content box, and we also have the text. So with a background image, and if you say background clip to text, it will clip all the background to the text whatever it contains. So this is how the animation trick work. Sorry, the CSS trick work. Now after the clip is added, now I have added a animation property. This animation CSS property says I have a name, the animation name is gradient. I want to animate this for 5 seconds. I want to create a ease in effect and I want to make it infinite. Now after this, I had a keyframe and it says from 0, the background position. So the background position is basically the background image. So this background image position, I want to move not in the x-axis, but on the y-axis, I want to move it to the 50% above. So when it is 0, it is moving it to 50%. Again, on the 50% area, now it is like the background position. You can play with the background position to have your own effect. So this is how you add this small snippet of code to get this cool effect. Let's update this. So we have this small, we have this cool effect. Now, let us see what is left. We have covered these all. We have covered custom. Okay. So let us also see how we can create this parallax effect. If you see the background, which is fixed, and this is done inside Elementor, and this is also done with a free version. So we have the background image, and see how this is really looking pretty cool. So let us go inside our Elementor template and see how this is done. So inside our Elementor template, inside our Elementor page, we can see I have a header image which is not fixed, but from the bottom, like the second one, it is fixed. So I'll click on the section. I have given it a minimum height. You can give it a minimum height of 600, 700, based on your requirement. You can give a minimum height. Coming in the styling position, I have a background set, and I kept this background attached as fixed. So make sure, and also this fixed position, like the attachment fixed, will only work on desktop. And if you want to make this work on mobile, then you need to have the static image on mobile. This in the scroll also, it won't basically give you that parallax effect. The parallax effect only works with fixed, so the attachment will be fixed. And other options you can, if you have used Elementor and you have added a background image, so you can have. So the only thing which we need to change is the attachment from default to fixed, and there you go. Now inside this, you can add anything. You can drag and drop an image, you can drag and drop anything, and that background will be fixed. Let me remove this, and the background will be fixed. So this is how you create this cool looking parallax effect with different images and different sections. Let me update this. Now let us move to a bit trickier part where we'll see how we can create. Let me just close everything. Close this. Let me get rid of this, and yeah. Let's go back to our WordPress, get to pages, and we have a loop builder. So I'll just open this and show you what this is. So this is a pro version. Again, this is experimental. Elementor have not launched this it is still in the beta version. So make sure if you're using this, make sure you're conscious and not using this on any of your live site. So you can see I have 4 blocks, and 4 blocks are dynamically getting a Lottie animation from the backend. Let's suppose you have a service. Inside the backend, I have created a custom post type named Lottie loop. And let's suppose you have a bunch of, so this is going inside the dynamics side. So let's suppose you have a bunch of services to showcase or any of the products you want to showcase with Lottie animation in it. So inside this, what I have a normal title, and I have a ACF field, which is a normal Lottie URL field. And That's all. I don't have anything else. Now, if you see this, we can also, I'll also show you, we can also make it a carousel, a Lottie animated carousel. So yeah, so inside our, I'll drag inside this one. I'll create a new one and I'll show you. I'll search for loop, and here you can see we have two. This is a pro widget. We have loop grid and loop carousel. Now the above one is a loop grid and the bottom one is a now we'll create a loop carousel. I'll drag and drop this loop carousel and it will ask which template you want to use. I'll say Lottie loop template. I want to use this Lottie loop template. And in here, in the query, I don't want to query pose, but I want to query Lottie loop. See, now you have a carousel with the Lottie animation and the text. This is in beta, that's why it's breaking. So be conscious when you want to use this kind of tricks inside the live version. So as you can see, it is breaking, but so the concept is clear that how to use this. Now let me not have a loop because it is breaking and have a normal, not have a carousel and just have a normal loop. And in here, in the normal loop, I'll just type my Lottie loop. I'll make sure this is getting data from the Lottie loop post type, and you can see the Lottie loop is appearing here. And this is dynamic basically. So whatever updates I want to make on my backend here, and that will appear over here in the section. Now I'll also show you how to create a loop. So this is a pro version. So if you don't have a Elementor Pro, I'll drop a link or like the link in the description below, and you can get Elementor Pro from there. Inside the template, I'll go inside theme builder, and inside the theme builder, here you can see there is an option called loop item. I'll click on loop item. I'll add a new loop item. Firstly, I'll change the name new loop item, and I'll say the preview setting. I want to preview and I want to get data from the Lottie loop custom post type which I have added, and I'll click apply. Now in here, let me drag a text widget. So you can see this is dynamically fetching the text from our post types. And for Lottie, I'll take a Lottie widget. I'll just drop it above the text title. And you can see here we have two sources. And this loop, like the Lottie grid, will only work if you have an external link from a Lottie site. So go to Lottie files, and get whatever Lottie you want, and the URL will be when you click on a Lottie. So this URL, we want to get this URL, and this is the same URL which we have added inside our backend URL field. So this URL, we will click on dynamic tags, we'll search for our ACF field and hit ACF URL field. And now click on the hinge gear icon. Yeah. And inside the setting, the key will be the external Lottie URL. So this is a custom field which I have used using ACF. Now the design is done. Click on update and let us go inside our loop builder. I'll click on refresh and I'll reload the page. As you can see, I'll change the loop to new loop item. Basically, it will be the same because we have the same loop, but you can see the styling. Because I have not styled anything, you can style it based on your need. So this is how you add a loop, a Lottie loop inside a Lottie grid. This might be a blob grid, this might be your services grid, and see how interactive it is and how cool this is looking. So this is how you add a Lottie grid. Now let us see how we can create something like this with an image. I'll close all my tabs, and I'll also get rid of this. I'll go to my tutorial. I'll get inside my pages, and I have also already created a Wonder demo page. So I'll just show you the page firstly. So I'm not using the video, but you can fetch any of the video. You can also take the same video. So how this is done is we use some trick over here, which is the hotspot. Yeah, the hotspot widget. So we are using the hotspot widget over here. And how this is done is, I'll just make a copy. I'll just show you how this is done. So we have a column. Let's make it a full height. Let's add a background image. I'll just add some background image. Let's suppose this one, cycle boy. Yeah. And I'll make it central position, and I'll make this as a cover. So, okay, the quality is not good enough. So let us take a better quality image. So this looks good. Now we have this. Now let us see how I added the hotspot widget. Now let us take a hotspot widget. This is a pro widget basically. So we'll add a hotspot widget. And now the trickiest part is, hotspot widget needs an image. If you don't add an image, the size won't work properly and it will ask for an image. So how to deal with this? So to deal with this, I have basically got an empty image. So this image is transparent PNG. You can just search for transparent PNG. PNG. You can search for transparent PNG, and you can click on any of the icons. So this is a transparent, 100% transparent PNG, and that PNG I'm using in here, so that I can have the height. So I can have that height, because if now you see, if I have removed the image inside this, if I remove the image and if I add multiple like points, so if I drag it also, it won't work. It will just be inside that particular container. See, if you can see this black dot, I'll just remove all. I'll just show you this. So this is only contained inside this small width, and we don't have a property where we can say what is the height. Oh, yeah. See here. And now, if we see it, we don't see. We have an height property, but without an image that gets height, basically. Without an image, we can't use this hotspot widget. So let's add the transparent PNG. I'll just click on that and I'll add that transparent. Now if you see, if I go to the preview also, you can see that circle is appearing and we have that hotspot over our image, over our background image. Now, inside the hotspot, see, so you got the trick. What is the trick to get this effect? Okay. Now, let us add some text. Hello. Okay. Not this one. Let us add this text. Hello. And this hello, when should this appear? And that is on hover. So tooltip, when this should appear on hover. So when we hover over the circle, then our text or whatever content we want to add there will get displayed here. So this is how you can add multiple items and change the position. Let's suppose you want to add the second one on the right or in the bottom, like somewhere. If you can see, so here we have that black dot. Let me change that black dot to red dot, because that is not pretty visible. Yeah, the red dot are visible. So you can see this is how I have made it, and I have used some custom CSS to get the line and the hover effect of how this are appearing. So for this hover effect, for the CSS, I'll not be talking much about the CSS. I'll just be giving you a brief idea how I have done this. So I have selected the E hotspot. So if you click on your inspect element and you see, so these elements are have a class name of E hotspot, and I have given a Z index of 100. So the Z index of 100 means, so this will be always above everything else on this section. And also to arrange this on inside your background image, or like whatever image or video you have, you can also use position of absolute to make it wherever you want. So wherever you want to have this widget, so you can have that with the absolute positioning. So we have that absolute positioning set. I'll talk about the CSS. So inside the CSS, we have the Z index, and then we have the direction of the mask. So we want to, so the direction is like this one. So where should it comes out from? So it is coming out from the left and moving to the right side. So this is how I have done this, and I will also drop the CSS code of this hotspot over there. And this is how I have recreated this effect. If you want me to make a full tutorial on how I have created everything step by step, then please drop that on the comment section below, and I'll walk you through everything what we have done. So these are all our 13, maybe more than 13, I lost the count, tricks inside our Elementor, which you can achieve using some custom CSS and with some small tricks. So if you have liked this video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. Thank you for watching this video.